Assalamu alaikum, guys. Welcome to episode 38 of Freshly Grounded. My name is Sam Palmer. To the left of me, I have my co-host, Faisal Chowdhury. Say hello.
Hello, assalamu alaikum. Just a couple of podcasters here.
Yeah, just a couple of podcast guys creating some content for a podcast.
Yeah. Guys, this is episode 38. This episode will be out early, as always, for our Patreon subscribers. So if you want to become a Patreon subscriber, head over to patreon.com/freshly grounded. That's patreon.com/freshly grounded. And what's a couple of things you get if you're a Patreon subscriber, Sam?
You get footage early.
You get footage early. You get the podcast episode, the audio, one day early.
You get the podcast early.
Yeah. You also get
behind the scenes footage, exclusive footage of myself and Faisal Chowdhury prepping for Freshly Grounded in the morning. That can be us having a coffee, us having a chat, having an arm wrestle, having a wrestle, whatever it is. It's just the preparation of what we do before Freshly Grounded.
Let's do that this month.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Fine, it's true. So you get exclusive footage that's only for Patreon subscribers, like Sam said, and you also get access early to exclusive drops and discounts.
More discount.
Speaking of which,
yes,
your boys are dropping the first ever Freshly Grounded piece of merch. Yeah.
Bread.
So guys, we are officially launching our first ever piece of merch, which is a Freshly Grounded mug, aptly created because our podcast is kind of based around like us loving coffee and stuff. And so the Freshly Grounded mug, which guys, we purchased 20 of these mugs. One of them, which is the one in my hand, we're going to keep for the set of the podcast. And we have 19 that Sam and I are going to, straight after this intro, we're going to sign and number with a Sharpie. Yeah, we're going to sign and number them. And you guys can purchase them for a tenner at freshlygrounded.com. When you go to freshlygrounded.com, click on shop and you can purchase a mug. There's 19 of them. They're going to be numbered. They're going to be signed, and it's a collector's item. We're then going to release, eventually, inshallah, we're going to release normal ones, but they're not going to be signed or named, or numbered. So what you could do is go to freshlygrounded.com, purchase a mug, and take a picture of it and let us know which number you got. There's going to only be 19 of them, and it's going to be out early for our Patreon subscribers. So if you're a Patreon subscriber, you'll get access to the mug early. I just thought to myself, how am I gonna do that? Oh no, I know how I'm gonna do that.
You know how?
Yeah, I know how. So yeah, freshlygrounded.com so that's if you're a Patreon subscriber. Also, if you want to sponsor the podcast, you want to have your business in the podcast, shout it out. Maybe you want to have your product placed on our luxury table right here, like we got Sam's 59 bag, or we got Freshly Grounded mug, got a Izaha mug. Go to email us over at hello@freshlygrounded.com or head over to freshlygrounded.com/partner. If you go to freshlygrounded.com/partner, you can see our stats and figures and see why it's beneficial for you to sponsor the podcast. And lastly, if you don't have a business, you don't want to be a Patreon subscriber, you just want to support, you can head over to freshlygrounded.com/donate, and you can even donate as little as a pound.
Every little helps, as they say.
Yeah.
And it really does.
Yeah. And in the words of Sam, support the ting.
Support the ting. If you don't want to donate, you don't want to do anything, just make dua and watch us. And that's we're happy for that as well.
Very true.
Isn't that true?
That's very true.
Just make dua. If you don't want to donate or you don't have the money to donate, just make a sincere dua that Freshly Grounded goes far and it's a benefit to people. That's it. That's all we're asking for.
And the main thing is that we stay sincere.
And
Allah keeps us sincere. Because you know what? We had a lovely letter actually that came to us. Am I allowed to mention that?
Which one?
That we had a letter.
Yes.
I'm not going to mention what's in it or anything.
Yes.
But I'm going to mention one of the things that's in it. But I'm going to keep it anonymous.
Okay.
But basically, one of the things that was in it is, it basically said this. Imagine if we were like, getting reward for what we were doing in Freshly Grounded, and imagine if we never got any of that reward because our intentions were not sincere. How sad would that be? We'd be such losers on the Day of Judgment, bro. That like we're trying to create this thing to impact people in a positive way, try and make the world a better place in some way or another, and we don't get the reward for it because our intentions are not sincere.
Constantly renew your intentions.
Yeah, so please do make dua that we stay sincere. With that being said, our podcast is brought to you by the one and only 59 Coffee, Juice and Snack Bar in St Albans, Hertfordshire.
That's 50 on Instagram, 5_0.
No, 50_.
50_9.
NINE, yeah.
NINE, yep, on Instagram. And this month we are honouring our Freshly Grounded viewers by giving them a drum roll. A £1 off.
£1 off anything.
Which is good.
You
It's strong.
It's strong.
It's strong. You quote it, you get it off. And I see people do it. And I see people save money on coffees, juices, snacks.
And how does
everything
one
there.
quote it, Sam? Because you don't necessarily have a website. So why does one quote it?
How does someone quote it?
Yeah.
When you're making your transaction at the till,
Yeah.
you simply say Freshly Grounded. And that's all you have to say.
I like that.
And the people in there know. They'll handle
know.
you. They'll know.
I like that. Guys, 59 is honestly one of my favorite coffee spots. They've got coffees, fresh juices, freshly squeezed juice from actual real fresh fruit that gets delivered regularly, because I see it whenever I'm there. Quite often I'm there and I see a massive truck outside giving you guys fresh fruit. Fresh healthy snacks, a lot of vegetarian and vegan food options as well, and also it's a beautiful environment to just sit and chill and be alone with your thoughts or get some work done. You got some plugs there, you got some Wi-Fi, and there's no music distracting you, blasting in your ears.
Didn't you spend 2 hours there once, didn't you?
I did. I edited a vlog or Freshly Grounded or something.
Yeah.
Also brought to you by Izaha, izaha.com, izaha.com. Some Arabic caps, some Arabic t-shirts, some Arabic jumpers. Chuck in, it's cold, you want to get yourself a bobble hat and still look good? Head over to izaha.com. Chuck Freshly Grounded in the cart, you get 20% off. Lastly, brought to you by Flavor, flavor.co, flavr.co. Flavor is your one-stop shop for anything to do with branding, marketing, social content creation, iPhone application, website design and development. Your boys at Flavor will sort you out. And with that being said, Sam, what did we discuss in this episode?
We discussed anxiety and depression.
Oh yeah, we did to quite a lengthy degree. We discussed what it's like to have a watch.
We discussed being an entrepreneur.
Yep. We discussed Bitcoin.
We discussed McDonald's.
Yep. Mugs.
Mug.
Cheers. And a bunch of stuff. Enjoy this episode, guys, with Sam and I, the dream team. Sam, me and Sammy Red. Back in the building. Yep. And with that being said, guys, enjoy episode
38.
And welcome to Freshly Grounded, the brand new podcast by best friends Faisal and Sam.
Huh?
I said welcome to Freshly Grounded,
No, after that bit.
the brand new podcast
And after that bit?
by best friends Faisal and Sam.
Really?
Sam, have you noticed that there's a slight change in the Freshly Grounded set today?
Slight change. Not really.
When you have a look to your right.
There's no big black shelf.
Yeah.
It feels good. I can
We
actually
moved that for you, Sam.
Really?
Because every episode, you seem to be struggling a bit
I
with
was,
like your
man.
space.
Yeah.
So let's give him more space.
It
Let's
was
leave
cozy, but last week especially because we had big man in the Mohammed Hijab, mashallah, in the chair. I was very, very cozy. I had this. I was like, it feels good to be free.
Yeah.
Actually, like,
You can roam around.
yeah, feels good.
Go for a run.
We're doing a podcast.
That's true. We did the first podcast in a long time with just you and I.
Just you and I
There also seems to be a little added thing on the desk.
with the water
There's we do generally have water on the desk.
plant. Oh, that's been there from day
Yeah.
one. Bag.
And the bag's been there a couple of episodes
You
now.
must be talking about this.
That's what I'm talking about. The brand new freshly grounded mug. And he's holding a brand new freshly grounded mug. And so we've got these. We ordered 20. We're going to keep this one for the desk, and we're going to sign 19 of them with our names, and we're going to number them, and we're going to release them as an exclusive drop, one time only. And they're going to be available on freshlygrounded.com.
When are we going to drop
the
them?
shop?
When are they actually going to become?
I think tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, I think tomorrow. So I'll probably drop them tonight.
As long as they're all signed, sealed, and delivered.
Sorry?
As long as they're all signed, sealed, and delivered.
So we're going to number them, we're going to drop them, and it's going to be like a collector's item. They're going to be available for a tenner, and that's it really. And it's a collector's item, innit? And then we're going to release normal mugs that haven't been signed or numbered at a later date. But these are probably going to be available. I mean, why beat around the bush? Probably as this podcast is released, they're going to be out now.
Yeah,
that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And probably for the Patreon subscribers today, like Thursday,
they'll definitely have that access before the general public.
So yeah, got some mugs.
Well done, Mike.
This is the start of our merch.
It's good. I like it.
It is. Hoodies soon come, inshallah.
Hoodies is that next thing, yeah?
Well, I was thinking. Sorry, as much as I love the Freshly Grounded logo, I was thinking if we have like merch, like clothing and stuff, we should have like captions on it that are like things that we say in the podcast regularly.
Rather than just using the logo as the...
Yeah. But then you have to think about things that we say, which I don't know. Maybe people...
I thought about that,
like
but there's
lad.
nothing... You say lad, but would you want lad written on a t-shirt you made?
No.
Definitely
No.
not. No.
I actually would represent that logo on a t-shirt
Really?
if it was done nicely. Yeah, like,
Would it
maybe
be done nicely? It would literally be like that then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, it's like not a huge one, like a small one.
Oh,
on
that's
the,
a nice
on the
idea.
heart or something.
That's a nice idea.
I like that. Wear it on the heart.
Mm.
I mean, I had some Menspire jumpers. And we had some round stars, like literally just made there. It's just nice, sort of small thing. You could do that there.
Well, let's get some suggestions. If you guys have any suggestions, hit us up on our social media at freshly_grounded on Instagram. Drop us a DM and let us know what you think about ideas for t-shirts and clothing. We're not dropping hoodies until we've actually hit 100 Patreon subscribers, because that was a promise we made. Oh no, hold on. Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway, can't remember what I promised anymore.
I never heard that promise, to be fair. Today is the first day we've ever spoken about hoodies, Freshly Grounded hoodies.
There's a lot of things happening in my mind because you're such a busy man.
You've been planning a lot, haven't you? You've been busy. What did you send me yesterday? The new website.
A new website, freshlygrounded.com. Did you like it?
Impressed.
Yeah?
Really, really impressed.
Did you smile from ear to ear when you saw
I
it?
smiled and I showed my wife
Oh, nice.
instantly.
Oh, you
No, I showed Ollie. Because I was
Nice.
with Ollie because it was in the daytime.
similar?
Yeah. Similar, he was impressed as well.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was really impressed. Yeah.
Sick.
It was really well done.
Thanks, man.
Really well done.
Yeah, I thought, because I remember that time I did it a few weeks ago, but it was a bit hot. It was a bit like, I wasn't over the moon with it, and so I fixed it up properly now.
It looks really...
And now I'm very happy with
It
it.
looked great.
Yeah.
I want that for all my businesses, to be honest.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, let's
I
have a
actually
chat.
said that straight away afterwards to someone. I said, this is how I want Menspire to be. And they said, I want you to get Faisal as well. I said, he's not really even a web developer. I don't really understand how he's doing this.
I do. That's how I started. You know that?
Web developing.
So
Started what?
My own was first ever business.
Yeah.
When I was about 14 and was about 15, 16, he would bring in the business, like do the networking and bring people in, and then I would do the. Our business was website design. Sorry, just to let you know what it was. It was website design and development.
What was it called?
It was called 6'2".
6'2".
Yeah, and how it started is like that, and it was from our bedroom, and before it got acquired, and that's how he'd work. So he'd bring in the business, and then I think it was like more of like an ego, arrogant thing. I used to be like, oh no, I could only work in the night time, like overnight. And now reflecting on my time, I reckon I was just being a diva. Like, oh no, I could only work at night, like as some kind of like hipster flex.
Yeah.
The way Allah has created our day and time, and how He set our entire like structure, and as can be seen in the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we know like you sleep after Isha, you wake up at Fajr. That's where the barakah is. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I personally don't think that. I think anyone who says that, I'm a nighttime person, I work at night, I think you're either lying to yourself, or you might believe yourself, but try it the other way, because I think that's what's naturally made for.
There are some people who have to work night shifts.
Oh no, I know, but I'm saying, you know, people
who do their work they need to do at night time.
Right, like myself.
Yeah,
like I used to do.
there's a lot of people who talk about them
A lot of
doing,
people.
and they come up with their most ingenious stuff like late at night, 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, that's never been me. Never
It
been
used to be me, and I used to be really like convinced that was just
And
a
how old
natural
were you
thing.
then?
I was like, that was between like 14 to like, between like 15 to 18 or something.
So at the age of 15, you started your own business.
Yes.
That's impressive.
Yeah, man. And so anyway, my point is, it was website development, and so I would bring in a client, and then I would spend I'd start working at about 11 p.m. until about 4 a.m. and I would develop.
What would you do in
websites.
the daytime when you refused to work? You've been productive in the daytime or sleeping?
So we were running the business from our home, so I was just like also a regular kid. Like I would. I remember this particular time that I'm talking about was a summer holiday, so I think I would just sleep until late and then wake up and.
So you could only work at night and you'd sleep all the day.
I wouldn't sleep all day. I'd probably sleep to like 1 or 2. Have you ever like slept like, because you and I are both quite similar in the sense that we wake up quite early, don't we? You wake up even early on weekends, right?
I just wake up. Like body clock wakes me up every time now.
Even on I never have a lie. Even on a Sunday, I wake up early. But have you ever had a lay in?
In my life?
Yeah, man.
Of course.
But like what's the least?
I used to, no. Before I would say I became an adult, I used to love a lie, and it's something I actually really, really treasure. Is sleeping until about 11 o'clock would be ideal. That actually makes me feel really ill now. It messes my whole day up.
Yeah.
Recently, because obviously I get up with my boy in the morning. He gets up quite early, so I just have that time in the morning, which I like anyway before I go to work. But the other day, my missus ended up taking him, so I actually went back to sleep after Fajr for the first time in ages, and I had a deep, big sleep, but it didn't. I woke up like feeling like half a day behind.
Unproductive.
Very unproductive. So much time has slipped through.
For the brothers out there that struggle like waking up in the morning and being productive, do you feel like Fajr is a big part of, waking up and, feeling fresh and lengthening out your day?
Fajr is the thing, is the reason why I get up. Because to be honest, I probably wouldn't get up if it wasn't for Fajr.
Right.
But from like studying and learning about what successful people do generally, their culture and their sunnah is to get up early. Whether you're a praying man, whether you're a God-conscious man or whatever, is to get up early and either study or just meditate or practice things like thankfulness. So in our religion, we're very aware of this. Alhamdulillah, we all praise due to God. Yeah. But it's almost like when you read like biographies of people who, multimillionaires and billionaires, etc. Like they all practice this being thankful and being grateful, whether it's to a creator or a god or just in general having that. So it's interesting. Gratitude, yeah. It's just interesting, like seeing that as a culture for people of success. And then obviously us as Muslims, we get up and we get up and pray at that time. And it's a very important, like morning is like one of my favourite times. I love getting up early, man.
Same here.
And also trying to implement doing something productive after Fajr. Sometimes you're going to slip off. You can slip off on your phone. You catch up with Instagram, your emails, this, that, and the other. But if you can bang on like a beneficial video or something that you can listen to directly after Fajr, before you start your day, when you can just have a bit of downtime, the light hasn't even started coming through the windows. Everyone else is asleep. If you can obtain some sort of knowledge or something beneficial in that time, and generally that's when it stays with you as well. That's when people advise you to learn Quran, learn Arabic is directly after Fajr, because it's been proven that your brain will take it in easier. So the morning for me is a really, really important time, and Fajr is obviously the main reason. And
a big old breakfast.
I'm not really a big old breakfast boy.
Really?
Not really, not like you.
Yeah, I'm a big old breakfast boy.
Yeah. I'm not a big old breakfast, little breakfast.
Really?
Yeah, I'll say so. What have you had today? Just the banana?
Today I was in a rush. I made myself some chicken noodles.
Chicken noodles?
That's me in a rush. Normally I bang 4 eggs and two dough breads.
4 eggs?
Yeah.
What are they called?
Yeah, it's like a Pakistani thing.
What are they called?
A paratha.
Paratha, yeah, I know paratha,
okay,
yeah. They're lovely
but
parathas.
but not like the unhealthy kind, because parathas are very unhealthy.
Yeah.
But it's a bit different what I have, and
What is a healthy paratha?
It's not the healthiest thing in the world, but it's definitely not. There's no oil and grease and all that.
Do you cook it in a frying pan?
I do, but I don't use any oil.
Yeah, fill me in, because
I love.
I'll fill you in after.
What paratha is?
I didn't know, because I don't have paratha. I have it really rarely because it's quite.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I think maybe the brothers. Can you get a healthy bit of? Can you get a healthy paratha?
The thing is, let's skip that bit.
I love parathas.
Let me just say this. I need to have a nice carby but also proteiny breakfast, just like I got all my energy and stuff, and I didn't have that this morning. I rarely have that on a Thursday because I'm in such a rush, because we have to for Thursday. On my other days, if I make it in by like 9:30, 9:40, who's counting, do you know what I mean? But on Freshly Grounded, I've got to be in 9 really, because we got to start shooting. And so I'm in a bit more of a rush. And
so you just banged off a banana?
No, I had noodles.
Oh, noodles and then the banana.
And then I came and had a banana.
Was it a nice banana?
I won't comment on that. It was lovely though. Actually. Listen, what were we talking about? Morning being a great time.
Yeah, morning being Fajr, getting up early, all that.
My point was that I remember, I do remember one time in my life when I was maybe like 16 or something, that I woke up at 5 p.m. It's the only time I've ever done it. And it was the worst.
What?
Yeah.
5 p.m.
Only in my whole life once I've done that. 5 p.m. I remember waking up 5 that I can remember, and it was horrible. Your whole day's literally gone, and I think it was winter, so it was dark.
I've experienced that. Literally sleeping the whole day.
Yeah.
It's horrible, isn't it?
It's horrible.
I used to do that and wake up on a Sunday evening.
It's horrible.
And the whole day's just slept and it's dark and I've just slept through the whole day. That used to be my routine, man. Way back.
Wayback Machine.
Way back. Used to go out and used to just get back so late that it would just spend your whole day in bed. It's disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, don't put yourself down that much.
I'm not. Just saying, it's a really horrible thing that I've experienced that you're talking about now. It's a really horrible. It's not productive, is it?
No, it's not.
Make every minute count.
I went out last week with the missus, and where we went, there was a bit of we were just out and about in Central in London in the night time, and I think it was actually a Saturday night, and so I had forgotten. I hadn't been to like Central in the evening late on a weekend in so long that it's just full of booze, man, everywhere, and so the next day. So we still had a nice evening because we were just out, like Marble Arch area.
Drive around and
no,
walk
we
around.
actually walked. We parked up the car. We went for a nice walk. But yeah, man, it was nice because we thought, do you know what? We live in London, which is like the capital of like so many things, and there's people all around the world who like dream of coming to London. They save up so much money to go to London, and they want to go on a nice big holiday. It's all on our doorstep, man. At night time I can get there in 20 minutes. It's into like the central 15, 20 minutes, and we don't. And I said to my missus, I said, why don't we just like this? And there's all these like little lovely spots around London, these little bakeries, and you could even if you just want to have a cheap night out, you can go to Knightsbridge, drive down to Knightsbridge. There's a bunch of like nice, and this is actually what we did last night. I'll tell you what we did yesterday actually. But anyway, you could drive down to like Knightsbridge, and like you got these like little
Nice
tea shops and cafes. You can spend a good 2 hours there and just spend a tenner. Do you know what I mean? So money's not exactly putting you back, but those kind of times. Spending time with your wife like that, I think, is so important because especially me, I know I do. I get so caught up in the routine of going to work, going to gym, going home, and then like it starts wearing on you. Like you need to pull out at it and just go for nice experiences and stuff. And then you remember, how nice was it that we went to that thing and that kind of stuff. So I think we're trying to make more of an effort to do that kind of thing anyway. Anyway, my point is this. I'll go on to what we did yesterday in a minute, but so the next day, Matty gets in my car and he's like, bro, your car stinks of beer.
Of beer?
Yeah, beer. He's like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, bro. I reckon I had it all over my shoes. I must have had it over my shoes. It was all in the streets and that, bruv.
How'd you get beer all over your shoes just walking on the street?
No, I saw. I clearly remember a lot of alcohol being on the floor.
Really?
Yeah.
Where did you go?
Oh yeah, boy. No, I didn't go to. Listen, I just went out.
The streets of Knightsbridge.
I just went to a very busy. No, it wasn't Knightsbridge that day. It was like I said.
Marble Arch, sorry.
Yeah, but bro,
That's mad, isn't
my
it?
point is my car stunk of a beer, and I had just got cleaned as well. So apparently my car stinks of alcohol, and that is how you tell a story.
What did you do in Knightsbridge?
Horrible smell.
Yeah, it's disgusting, isn't it?
Horrible smell.
It is vile.
Man, I don't know, man. So yesterday, your boy went ice skating. Yeah, you could say bit of a pro skater,
Really?
Sam. Listen to this red one. So basically, yesterday we went ice skating outside Natural History Museum. They got a massive ice rink,
Spot.
and I wouldn't say I was nervous, but I was just slightly like, you know, what is this kind of thing situation?
Your first time there? First time there?
No, I believe I've only ice skated once before, and that was like years ago. So I don't remember too much. I remember how to do it and everything. So I said to Red, I was like, Red, because Red had been, I think, more recently. I said, Red, like, what's it like? And he said, bro, just know this, that you'll definitely fall in it. Like, you'll fall like loads of times. And Red actually broke his leg the last time he went to ice skating, didn't he, Red? Yep, he did. And Red's just having some communication with an outside source. No, I'm joking. Doing a bit of sign language.
You concentrate on what you're doing.
I can't because Red's doing action.
Sorry, no.
No one can see it. No one can
I know it's
see him.
hard.
No one can see it.
Try to talk to him.
I know, but focus.
Right, Red, you broke your leg, didn't you, last time you were ice skating?
I advise you to not go yesterday because of that very reason. Yes.
Yes. And what else did you say to me, Red? You said you're gonna fall, and you told me that you had fallen about 15 times before you broke your leg.
Okay, so before I went ice skating, in my head I'm like, okay, cool. To learn this thing, I'm gonna have to fail a lot of times. So I got accustomed to falling, and I fell about 15 times, but I got very confident towards the end, right? And I was fine. I was, gliding like the world's best figure skater, whatever you want to call it. And I was fine. And I was, flying. But then 2 minutes before the session ends, my friend fell in front of me, and I didn't really want to chop his fingers off, and so I tried stopping, which was the worst decision I made. And then what happened was the weight of my left leg came up because I lost balance, and then because I lost balanced, and then all my weight just crashed down on my right leg, and the boot that I was wearing on my right leg was a little bit loose too, so that didn't help anyway. So it's like once that happened, it was just a twist and crack.
And it was actually broken.
Yeah, and it wasn't like
you officially had a broken leg.
Yeah,
from
it was just.
It was all
like,
official.
Yeah, I wish it was a hair. Actually, no. Well, hairline fractures take a while to fix up as well, but this was like a clean break. But luckily, the bone.
The
was
ice broke you.
The ice broke
Officially,
me.
yeah.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. And for
It was
told me,
a cold day for Red.
what?
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, but yeah, no. I don't know. Faisal was asking me if I'd go ice skating again, and maybe to conquer that.
One time,
period.
it's slightly different ice skating, but I went to go
Rollerblading.
No, I went to go on a ski slope
Oh,
in Milton Keynes.
nice.
Yeah, but I didn't get on very well with the skis. I won't go into it too much. Long story. I went to go snowboarding. Didn't get on very well with the snowboard, so I ended up taking the snowboard back to the shop where you get the things from.
Yeah.
And I swapped my snowboard for these little ice blades. So they were like I suppose they were like ice blades, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're for going down like snowy mountains and that. So I grabbed these, went to the top of the mountain, started going down, which was good because I hadn't actually started going down on the snowboard. Ended up picking up loads of speed, and then just realised I didn't know how to stop.
Why did you have to take speed?
Why did I have to take speed?
Oh wait, hold on. I've got the wrong end
I
of the
picked
stick
up loads
here.
of speed. I didn't take speed.
Who did you pick up from?
What?
What?
I'm picking up speed
Oh,
as in
okay.
I'm going
You're going faster.
I'm
Right.
not, what the hell?
Okay, I'm getting it.
Picking up speed in the sense that
Right.
I'm going really fast down a hill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I realised I don't know how to stop. Then I realised I don't know how to stop.
Yeah.
So I fell and I twisted my knee, and they had to close the whole thing off and send a stretcher up for me.
Really?
Yeah. So I ruined.
Did they teach you how to?
You can go to lessons, and I advise you going to lessons. But I went with two boys that could snowboard already.
Oh, okay.
And I was invited along. Bear in mind, I was quite young, so I was invited along. I knew they could snowboard, so they were doing their thing, but they kind of almost forgot about me a little bit. So I couldn't snowboard at the time. I couldn't even go up because you have to like be dragged up the hill.
Okay.
On the and I fell over and everything. So I got these ice blades, and it went wrong for me, man. So I advise if you're gonna approach the slope, do a bit of training.
I rate that though. I rate you for going in.
I went in and then but I closed the whole thing down. Everyone who was paid for that session didn't get to go on it, and they just looked at me. I was tubby at the time as well.
Oh, really?
Tubby boy ice blades getting taken down with
The big man
on a
thing.
stretcher. Yeah, I
Right
said
there.
big man thing. No one said anything. So that was that. So be careful
Wow.
with ice blades, man. But you had a good time.
Yeah, well, Red said to me, he said, Faisal, you're going to drop, just be prepared to drop a few times, because I dropped a few times. And Red, guess how many times I dropped?
Once.
Your boy dropped zero times.
I knew that.
Come
I
on. Faisal Chowdhury out here.
I don't believe that.
I didn't drop once.
Bet he didn't
Really?
hold, I bet he didn't hold off the side though.
No.
did?
At the beginning, I obviously was I held aside for a set.
Yeah.
Your boy was that's
good.
Yeah.
But the thing is, yeah, you got when you're with the missus, you you can't be holding on to the sides.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
fair enough.
So I
True.
had
You
to,
gotta
like-
save a bit of face and dignity.
Yeah, so I just thought let me just go for it, and I had a lovely time. I thought I wouldn't like it, but yeah, man, I
You
had
had
a
a
good time.
lovely time. I've
Yeah,
heard you describe anything you've done as lovely.
I've got a soft spot for my wife. So
That's nice.
I think I was with my boys. Like, there's five of us guys, and I was like, you know what? It don't matter. No dignity here.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I hate the idea of people having like this perception. I joke about it, but I don't like the idea of trying to cover up, try and be embarrassed and not be who you are. In fact, yesterday there was a guy there who was mid-wage, maybe in his 40s, and he was falling all over the place, yeah, literally, he was holding roads and he was really shaking, and I've never seen a man so scared in my life, and I rated him so highly. The trainers were holding on to him, and he was and he literally was getting up and dropping, he was shaking, yeah. Yeah, you know when someone is really scared. But I was watching him, I was like, you know what? You go, my brother, because he was so shook, but he did it. Do you know what I mean? And I rate that so much more than someone being oh no, I ain't doing that, I'm too cool for it. Do you know what I mean? Like, my man was like, I don't care. And
So had you just stopped what you were doing and you were just watching this older guy trying to skate?
But it was.
You stopped what you were doing?
No, I didn't stop what I was doing, but
You
like,
said you
you're
were
on the same
watching.
ice rink, innit?
Yeah.
And my man was like, and obviously it caught my attention because he was like extremely scared, bro. Like, you know, like how I am if a dog is like
Yeah.
inches away from me.
What did you say
Worse.
last week when we saw a dog? Or what did you say? What did you call it?
What the? Bro, he was really scared. But
Yeah.
bro, I rated him highly because I don't like the idea of like people making fun out of people. I hate that.
Yeah, yeah.
I hate seeing that. I hate seeing people make fun out of people. And I ask Allah to forgive me if I've ever done that because I really don't enjoy looking at that or being in that position. And I don't like people thinking like, you know, people are like, oh no, I'm too cool to like do this, do that. Like, I just hate that mentality, man. I used to be like that. Like, I remember I used to be like the type of guy who was like, oh no, I wouldn't wear that, I wouldn't do this. You know what I mean? Remember when we were speaking like that?
Yeah.
Now man will bop. Now I'm like, I told my wife, I said, look at my socks right now, bro. I said to my wife, I was like, listen, I need some new socks. And she's proper doctor. I said, go, can you grab me some socks? She's like, where do you want me to go? Do you want me to go? She's like, I'll get you these socks from. What? No, these. There's a nice shop.
Uniqlo?
There's a nice Ralph Lauren or something. I was like, look, go Primark, give me some plain white socks, that's all I need, do you know what I mean? And I'm happy to, but before I'll probably be like, oh, nah, man, do you know what I mean? So I don't like that mentality at all, man. And I don't rate it at all. I don't think it's very cool. And if anyone's listening and they're like trying to do certain things that is not them, just trying to impress their peers, either change your peers or be the pioneer to just be proud of what you do and who you are. Do you know what I mean? Because I hate that. So anyway, I rated my man a lot. But with that being said, it's just fact, your boy didn't drop.
MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah.
Well done. Did your wife drop?
No.
Had she been before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did she hold you at first?
I'd like to say I was holding her.
You'd like to say that, but what was the reality? Did she hold you at
We
first?
holding each other.
Yeah.
At first, yeah. Hey, no, yeah. And then we went out for dinner, and then we ended up at this nice cafeteria in Knightsbridge.
I saw you went to a cake place. Did you go to a
Yeah.
cake place? Where was that? Knightsbridge?
Yeah, Knightsbridge.
Directly opposite Harrods?
Yeah, it was called Le something. She'd seen it on Instagram, and she was like, "Oh, we want to check it out."
Did you get a
I was
treat?
like, let's go. Yeah, we had a honey cake, which is like their
Honey
speciality.
cake?
Yeah, is it
Is
honey
it
nut
Arab?
cake?
Is it Arab place?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
little Arab
little
places
Arabs,
up there,
yeah. I used to work on Brompton Road.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
For about 4 months, 5 months.
Hob.
Nah, Sanriz.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I literally went past that.
Yeah, you would have done, yeah. Opposite Harrods, isn't it?
Because my missus was like, oh, I fancy a fresh juice. Let's go to like Al Rez, which is opposite Harrods.
Yep.
And I saw just Rez or Riz or something.
Yeah,
So I walked towards the shop and I literally got there. I was like, oh, this is a hair salon.
Yeah, I used to work there, yeah.
There's a couple shops down. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. That's right opposite
Harrods, yeah. So round the back is the academy, the education centre.
Oh, they have
Yeah.
education center.
Yeah,
Sick.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah, it was nice working in Knightsbridge.
Really?
Very nice, yeah. It was nice.
Were you Muslim at the time?
Nah,
Okay.
far from. It was years ago, but I was like maybe 6 years ago I did it.
Is it much different now?
Is Knightsbridge much different?
Yeah. Harrods
Uh,
is pretty much the same, right?
I don't know Knightsbridge that well anymore. I used to enjoy being in that environment purely because you're in Knightsbridge, I suppose.
Yeah.
I used to go spend my lunch. I used to like walk around Harrods and just quite a nice environment to be in.
Yeah.
Even though I was
It's quite prestige.
very prestige. It's inspiring. I always find and the surrounding areas like Kensington and stuff. I just find it quite inspiring being in places like that.
We went to Godiva Cafe in Harrods like months ago, but like, man, it's cost an arm and a leg. We had like a crepe or a waffle. I think we had one dessert each, literally, yeah. And that's been like 30 quid. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That is expensive.
Yeah.
Innit?
For dessert, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, when
man.
I go out for a regular dessert, at a good place, maximum I'll spend between 10 to 15 quid.
Yeah, cool. If you could go to a really nice dessert place, spend what, like
Yeah.
£6 on yours?
Yeah.
So are you in luxury
Yeah,
Harrods?
We were in Harrods. We were in Harrods. Yeah, it was in Harrods.
You know. Yeah.
To
That's
be
it. I'm saying people pay to be in that environment.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Yeah.
These things are definitely nice, like not one-off luxuries, but as in like it's nice, like pop out and like treat yourself and have a nice time, and the environment's nice. But yeah, I think if you're at a point where you're literally like breakfast, lunch, dinner, spending absolute crazy amount of money, regardless of how much disposable income you have, you've got to kind of check yourself and think, I don't know.
Everyone's lives are different.
I suppose everyone's lives are different, and you don't know how much charity people are giving secretly as well, and that's why we shouldn't really we should never look at people and analyze their spending ever.
But you can't even look at someone and analyze and judge like their spending and their wealth and stuff, because it's all just like You look at someone and you assume they're wealthy because of their shoes or their watch or their car. No, but like you don't know the ins and outs and what goes on behind. This day and age, everyone lives without them out of their means, don't they?
And likewise, you could see someone who looks like they're just getting by, but they are spending thousands upon thousands on sadaqah and charity, and the stuff that actually means a lot.
Matters, yeah.
Matters.
Yeah,
So,
no doubt.
yeah, I think judging people and jumping to conclusions is such an awful thing, man.
It's naturally what happens to us though. Like when we see someone, like the judgment's kind of made, and then you almost have to like check yourself for what the judgment you've made, and it's quite often, well, more often than not, that you've made a wrong judgment. But how crazy is that? You see someone, you like, almost like it's crazy.
I see it like, don't put your hand in that. But like, if it's say it's a bowl of water, but it could be acid. You don't know. You just don't want to put your hand in there, and you don't want to go there. It's just better not to. If you have the option of putting your hand in there and you don't know whether it's acid or water, what are you gonna do?
Have we changed the conversation?
I wouldn't touch acid.
Exactly.
Stay away.
What I'm saying is,
this actually reminds me of a really good conversation. Yeah, no, it's too much information.
sorry, it was a weird analogy.
What were you gonna say? What were you gonna say?
No,
If it's long, don't.
No, I'm not gonna. It's embarrassing.
On you.
Yeah.
Just say it. Go on. This is what Freshly Ground is all about. Go on.
Come on.
Alright, so one time, I went to this public toilet. It's too much already, isn't it?
No,
I don't like public toilets.
After last week.
But carry on.
I was supposed to. I didn't do anything. I just went for pee. Yeah, I went for pee.
You went to the toilet.
Yeah, I went to it, and then I had realised that I hadn't taken any water with me.
Okay.
Right, and obviously, you have to clean yourself properly, innit, with water and that. But sometimes when you're in public and you don't have access to something, like it's a bit of a mushkila. Like you got to make what you got to do. And obviously, there's this narration of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that, and this is actually quite beneficial actually to know that, like, you have, because obviously as Muslims we have to use water to clean ourselves, even if we just go for a pee in it, because it's not clean to not do that. If you're in a situation where you have no access to water, you can use in their times they would even use leaves, because obviously it depends where you are, but so the equivalent to us would be tissue until you cannot see any more liquid, yeah. But what is ideal is water, and you should like. There's no reason why generally we can't take like a bottle of water or a cup of water, etc. Right now, whatever our situation was, whatever, I didn't end up, and so fine, I could use tissue. But I looked to my right, and clearly, I think a Muslim had been to toilet for me, because there was a bottle of like half-filled water that looked very clean, and I looked at it for a second. I thought to myself, I do need water. And what do you think I did, Sam?
I think you picked up the water and used it. Did you?
Nah, I didn't.
Nah.
I did. I can't.
I love that you've assumed that a lovely practicing Muslim has cleaned themselves.
Yeah, I looked at water and I thought, oh, there's a bottle of water. Like someone must have like. And I thought to myself,
it could be many things.
Yeah, it could be so many things. Shall I tell you what? I didn't even think to myself, oh, that's not right. You know what I thought to myself?
What?
I thought that could be acid.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why I thought that.
Yeah. It'd be horrible finding out it's acid, wouldn't it?
But yeah, so there's a bit of information. If anyone does have any questions on what I just said about the narration I spoke about, do let me know. But I read up on that, and yeah, so that's the case. But generally, yeah, like we spoke about in last week's podcast, man, we're taught so much in our religion about how to be clean in every sense of the word, even when you're visiting a
cleanliness. When I became a Muslim, when I was taught about actually how to properly clean myself after going to the toilet, it was like changed my life, because I didn't know, like I didn't. In my culture, it's just not what you're taught, and it's not like you're necessarily dirty, but you're just not taught that the importance of, like, someone gave me an example of if you let a Mars bar melt in the sun on your arm, and then you got some tissue and you cleaned off.
Yeah, horrible.
So
horrible,
you would still feel the stickiness, you'd still feel it, but then if you got some water and cleaned it, it would all run off. Equivalent of an ashtray. If you filled an ashtray with ash and cigarettes, you cleaned it out, wiped it with tissue, you'd still see like it would still be a bit dusty and it would be very clean. Alternatively, you get a bottle of water and it would instantly clean.
It's very true.
When you implement that, you can feel the difference. Like when it's just like that's naturally, like you said, you don't go to the toilet. You won't go to the toilet unless you know you can clean yourself properly.
Yeah, you like embed it in your head, like, I can't in the toilet, where's my water?
Yeah, of course. It's just, and it's part of we do, and it makes it. You can feel it. You can really feel it.
going off of like what we were just saying about like how, no, not acid. About what we were saying about like how we generally as humans that we make judgments of people naturally and that kind of stuff. I think that while we might naturally do that, it's so important that we like program our minds and we train our minds to like think in a certain way, so that when we do make judgments on people, like oh look at how much money he's spending, or oh like that must like look at what he did, that's bad. That we program our minds to instantly check ourselves and be like, no, assume the best. And that's what like building your iman is about, innit?
Yeah.
Having because when you build your iman up, you can train and program your mind to when you do sleep, which we all do, you can check yourself. And that's like the best way of being so self-sufficient, because it's so important to have companions around you, good friends around you who can check you. And like maybe there's been times where I've said something and even you've said to me, bro, do you know what I mean? And likewise, but imagine the ability to check yourself. And that means that you can police yourself even when no one's around. And that is probably the highest form of like being self-sufficient and policing, by being able to police yourself. Innit?
Police yourself in the sense that when you make a judgment, just quickly check yourself.
Yeah, check yourself, man. Like, I know that, like...
would you agree that judgment is made almost like naturally?
Yes.
And then
yes.
it's almost up to you do you go with that, or do you really break down like, why have I made that judgment, and how the hell do I know anything about this person?
I'd say potentially maybe it's a weakness in my iman. Why am I making judgments about someone? Because if
so you don't think that isn't that naturally like how we're created when we look at someone? Let's say for example we see someone who's dressed in a particular way, that you would almost like.
No, I agree. I do agree with that. Yeah.
Is there any way of breaking? There's no way of breaking that, is there? It's just like. It's like, how much do we take upon ourselves to think that we can actually make like a like look down on that person or make judgments on that person? It's almost
exactly
like the judgment is going to be made regardless. It's just almost like how where you in the sense that if Red turned up today in little red shorts, automatically I'd look at him and I'd make a judgment on him. That's whatever
it's
happens.
True,
Looking at him,
true,
judgment's been made. It's just like how I choose for that judgment to like. Where I go from making
right. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think actually you look at things and you relate it to something.
You do, of course you do.
Yeah,
and that's how it's like. Yeah, you do. It's just like how then you play off that, isn't it?
Sam's wearing a black hat, black clothes. Is he gonna rob a bank today? No. Check yourself.
Why are you wearing black as well? You don't look like you're gonna rob a bank.
I don't think I look like I'm capable of it though. Do I look capable of being able to rob a bank, Sam?
You look capable of pulling off.
Maybe like an online
incredible fraud.
Like online.
Yeah,
bank.
definitely. No way in prison you'd ever take anything from anyone. Yeah. Maybe online at night time.
Yeah.
When you're working late at
11
night.
p.m. till 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'd like to think best of you. I'm sure you haven't got it in you.
Please do, yeah. I don't have it in me.
Nah. Stay away from that, man.
Crime.
Stay away from fraud, Faisal.
We're anti-crime here, Freshly Grounded, are we?
Yeah, stay away from fraud, Faisal.
Yeah.
Faisal.
I will. Faisal.
Fast.
So I've told you about my week. I done the old hit up a couple of cafes, hit up some beer-filled streets in London, and done some ice skating. How was Sam's week?
Big phase. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know what I've done this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Reflect upon it now.
I am, and I've got nothing. I've got nothing to say. Yesterday.
How's your weekend? Come on, man.
Weekend.
Probably spent with the family, right?
Sunday I did. Yeah, alhamdulillah, very good.
Zayden walking, talking now?
Yeah, it has been for a while. Yeah. Zayden's funny, man. Spend some time with Zayden. Just been busy generally, man. Just doing general bits and pieces. I'm going to Scotland for the first time ever Tuesday.
Really?
Yeah.
Scotland. Nice.
Yeah, man. So I'm going to
for business.
Yes.
Okay.
Taking Mahi to one day. So that'd be nice. Never been to Scotland. I've always desired to go to Scotland. So that's next week.
I've been to Scotland.
You have?
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
I did an event in Dundee University, I think, last year.
How did you get there?
Plane.
How long did it take you?
I think like 45 minutes or something.
Yeah, Dundee University.
Yeah, I think it was Dundee University.
Was it good?
Lovely.
Did you spend much time there? Or?
Yeah. They gave me a tour of like the whole of Dundee, I'd say. I think, or some big city in Scotland. I'm not too sure.
Did you get to eat much?
They took me. I went to a couple of restaurants, but they were Asian spots.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you have?
I had to feel close to home. Not Asian spots in the sense that like they were curry
Paratha
spots,
and-
but like brothers who run like like Asian brothers who run a dessert place and that kind of spot.
Okay,
That kind of
okay,
stuff.
okay. No
Chicken
like
shops.
local culture.
Nah.
You know, there's obviously quite a lot of local culture, like food-wise.
Yeah, I toured the local culture. So I saw the buildings, the architecture. We went up a hill. We went to like this big castle somewhere,
Yeah.
and like we got to the top of the castle, like on top of this hill, which was next to the castle. Like we saw like the whole of the city. So I did that kind of stuff.
Yeah. You didn't eat any local food?
Not that I can remember. No, not that I can remember at all. I'm trying to think. I must have done it somewhere because I stayed the night there in a hotel.
slept
So I
over
must.
there,
Yeah. So I stayed in Travelodge.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it was lovely. It was traveling completely by myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's quite nice. It's nice to travel by yourself completely. Like
Yeah.
not even with a friend. You get a bit of headspace.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. It's nice.
I hate being by myself a lot of the time, but every now and again, rarely, it's nice to just be by yourself, have a think. But generally, I don't like being alone, man.
Really?
No, I hate it. What about you? You like it, don't you? You love it. That's where me and you are different.
Yeah.
There's quite a few ways me and you are quite the same, but two ways I'd say we're different is height and loneliness. Now, there's a
And
few more.
loneliness.
No, in a sense,
Lonely?
I'm not a fan of like I like being around people. I tell you what, I gauge off people's energy, but you do appreciate a good headspace time alone.
If I
don't
can,
you?
yeah, because you've got to bear in mind the reason I do is because I'm generally around lots of people. So when
Yeah.
I can obtain that,
And what goes through your head when you're alone and walking up the canal?
I cannot tell you live on Freshly Grounded.
Really?
No, on the canal. I love the canal.
Yeah.
I often think I love these properties and how much I'd love to have a property here. That's quite often what I think. And then I
Nice.
sometimes think, I wonder if I could ever live in a canal boat, in a what are they called?
I think you got it.
Canal
Yeah,
boat.
I think so.
I wonder if I could ever live my life in a canal boat. And I quite often see the people like doing their morning routines who live on the canal boats.
Really? Do you see the people? I
Yeah,
never see
the
them.
people,
I never see
people.
them.
This morning I actually saw a few people.
Really?
Yeah. I could smell like a fire that obviously was on in one of the boats that they were obviously making some breakfast or something. It was nice. I made the maybe 4 eggs
Prata.
and a paratha and a big coffee and a alone time.
That's interesting. I don't know if I could live on a boat.
I don't know. I don't think I could either.
Okay.
No, I would definitely like to experience it for a weekend.
Right.
I don't think I could live on a boat. But
I'd agree with
but
that.
Have you seen some of the boats down there? Red, you walk up and down there.
Yeah.
I wonder the same thing. I'm the same as you as well. I prefer. I not prefer. I do like my own.
You do like your own coffee, don't you, Red?
Yeah. I literally got back from it. Like I spent 3 days in Italy on my own.
You do it when you wander, yeah?
Yeah.
By yourself?
Yeah.
That's nice.
And I liked it. But no,
Going abroad by yourself, it's an experience.
Would you stay in those, like, you know, obviously architecture's like obviously ever grown, so like they have these like little cubicle looking houses that are tiny for one person. Like, would you be able to live in them, do you reckon?
Would I be able to live in one? I imagine I could probably deal with it, but whether I'd aspire to live in one, maybe not.
It's different with the family as well, 'cause you
Yeah.
got to be selfless.
that's what
So
I'm
you have to be
thinking, yeah.
selfless when you have a family.
But with a boat, I don't know. I don't think I could.
Such a different way of life.
It depends. If I'm saying in the boat, like if I'm
you're
living,
going somewhere,
if
I
I'm
mean,
going, like
if
if I'm
you're just-
sailing across the world,
If
you
you're
know,
if you're stuck on Westbourne Park and the canal,
then nah, I'm not up for that.
Yours, yeah, and I think I'd agree with you. It'd be nice to like do on a weekend, innit?
yeah,
That'd be nice.
It'd be nice. It looks appealing.
Go
like,
on a
walk past
Friday
and, like,
night, have a nice romantic dinner
Yeah.
on the boat front, and then like wake up Saturday morning, have some nice breakfast.
just
Yeah.
sail around, just
Yeah.
disappear, just change around.
I'd agree with that. That sounds nice.
Yeah.
Nice little weekend on a boat. Oh, I actually stayed. Remember when we did a Freshly Grounded episode and I said that I stayed on a boat?
I stayed on a boat as well. Remember we talked.
Oh,
about
we
it?
did speak about it, didn't we?
Both stayed on the. Is it the
I
same
think we
boat?
stayed on the same
Next
boat.
to Excel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mine was called the Good Hotel. Yours was a bit different.
that's right. But
Yeah.
it was yours next to the Excel, near the
Yes,
Excel.
Yeah, but mine was like a moving thing. Like it only comes for like 6 months and then it goes
you
to like
sure?
another city. Yeah, we checked. It stays in London for like 6 months or a year or something, and then it goes to like some other country on their thing, and so it's like a pop up hotel.
Yeah. Well, I yeah. I
Do you
didn't
get
rate it.
seasick?
No,
Do you get travel sick?
no.
Nah,
Do you?
nah. I know a couple of brothers who do.
I know people who do as well.
Yeah, it's an odd thing, innit? But it makes sense. But I haven't experienced it. I don't know what it feels like.
Yeah, of course.
It doesn't sound like it makes sense to me.
No, of course.
But
But
I get
alhamdulillah, I don't get it, but
Yeah.
I witness people having it firsthand, and it's just one of those things. Like,
Only gets it really bad.
Does he?
Yeah, really bad. He actually
to
gets
be
it
patient
worse
with
if
it though, isn't it? You
if the
can't-
heating is on.
yeah.
If the heating's on in the car, he can't. When I'm in the car only, I have to be really cold.
Do you ever have to stop and? Is he sick?
No, but he can't like read when we're driving stuff. He has to kind of just like
concentrate,
look on the roads,
really?
a bit sometimes.
Wow. Yeah, you can't really judge it because, like, alhamdulillah, I haven't
experienced it.
Got to have to. I don't have to experience like nausea in a car, but
it's almost like people who have anxiety, and people who have never experienced anxiety would kind of sometimes say, "Oh, it's just in your head. Oh, you just."
Do you think anyone in the world that has never experienced anxiety?
I don't think so. No. Oh, I think that I think there will be people who haven't experienced anxiety, but I think they will experience it.
Yeah. Because I didn't actually. Only recently, I've actually started to become aware of really the meaning of anxiety.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, but like I used to like think in my head that I've never dealt with it, and the reality is I deal with it a lot, but I didn't really associate it with this word anxiety. Even like because to be anxious is to be stressed.
Yes.
So to deal with anxiety is just to deal with stress. So we all get stressed. Every human being, we all get stressed. So we all deal with anxiety. It's just how we let that anxiety take control, or do we kind of cap it and stop it? But ultimately, anxiety, depression, it all leads just to being stressed and angry. So if you are a stressed and angry person, which we all deal with those emotions, that's really where the anxiety and the depression comes from. So you have to tackle it. I'm not speaking from any experience, but it's just something that I've just been analysing my own issues, as we all have issues, and really trying to like pinpoint where it stems from. And yeah, just like it's just something interesting. Like, and how I always used to like in my head think that I've never dealt with anxiety, and hearing people who have real issues with anxiety and depression, and me thinking that I never dealt with it. In reality, I have deal with it constantly, but recognizing it and putting the label to it is two different things. And that's nothing to be ashamed of, like admitting that you deal with being anxious and depressed, because that's the reality of being a human being. We're unstable. It's almost like, how do we combat that, and how do we strengthen ourselves mentally to combat that? That's where it comes down to, isn't it? And how to know how to combat anxiety and depression, because there's many different ways you can deal with it, but ultimately there's a formula, there's a prescription of how to deal with it and make it better. It's just kind of finding that. And
it's an inexplainable feeling as well. It's very hard to define.
Yeah, very much so.
There's different levels. I've sometimes had a bit of I've been a bit anxious and it's kind of gone. Or I've had like a really bad day where I've had anxiety for like the majority of my day and it's really bad. Do you know what I found? I recently went through about a few weeks ago, and I know what day it was because it was the same day that I did a talk at Essex University. So last month, I think October was when I was quite busy with a lot of talks. So I'm going to say it was October.
Yeah, it was on a Friday, I think.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
I had a really bad day, bro.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I had to leave the office because I couldn't be around people at that point. Like, it was really, really... I spoke to Omar. I said, bro... And I remember looking at Omar, and I don't go through anxiety that much. Give me a second, just broke the noise. Oh, no, it's bad.
That's nice.
I don't really go for anxiety that much, yeah. And alhamdulillah. And I had to pull him aside. I said, bro, and I had water in my eyes as if I was about to cry. I didn't cry, but I was almost gonna. And I said, bro, I don't know what it is, but I feel horrible and I need to leave, first of all. And secondly, like, I don't know what it is. And I remember saying to him, I said, it might be because I'm really hungry, because I know I haven't eaten much today. And so maybe I'm like just feeling like my body's feeling like it needs food, because I've got my body accustomed to eating a lot now as well. And so maybe because I haven't had like much food at all today, like my body's like having a reaction. That's what I put it down to. And then so I ate and I felt horrible still. That's the point at which I spoke to him. So I ended up leaving, and he was like, bro, just kind of go, like, do your thing, chill out, I'm here if you want to talk, blah, blah. And what helped me that day, and it really helped, is I rang Onali. And I spoke to him on the phone. I parked up. I was driving. I just needed to park up because I was shaking physically and stuff. I think my ears were going red. And I rang Onali and I just spoke to him for about 30, 40 minutes. And I felt so much better. And there was times on that phone call that I wasn't saying anything and he wasn't saying anything. But he was just there on the other end. And I can't explain it, but it made it a lot better. And I felt really like vulnerable and weak at that point. And I didn't feel like a man. I felt like a kid. Like I was actually saying to myself, like, Faiz, why are you like being a wimp? Like, man up, man. Like, you got nothing to be anxious about. What the hell is wrong with you, kind of thing. And that's not the way to react to it at all. Like, beat yourself up about it. You have to kind of accept that it's something that you go through. And And I think the things that normalize it for me is when people do speak up about it and say that we go through it as well. And one of the things that normalized it for me is even when you spoke to me about it, when you had a bit of a rough day, close to that day, and you told me and you were explaining what you were explaining to me sounded just like something that I had gone through, and it felt nice to know that even someone like yourself, who I respect, who I look up to, goes through a dark day, but then comes out on the other end and actually acknowledges it and doesn't ignore it.
Yeah, and definitely acknowledge it and definitely openly talk about it as well, because it is like we're human beings. We're created weak. We have flaws. Yeah. So I'll happily talk about it because it's something that everyone goes through, and it's something that is very healthy to talk about, and it's something healthy to like try and find someone to really like just have that conversation. If it's half an hour, even if it doesn't really make much sense, if you can just try and get off your chest like some of the strange emotions that you're feeling or you felt, and because you can really rarely pinpoint it. It's just like a heavy emotion over you, and it's almost like someone can tell you all the good things and this, that, and the other, but nothing will shift you from this. Like it's like a mental imbalance. Suddenly your mental being is just like you aren't in control of it, and it's in a negative. And it's almost quite very, very difficult to come out of that negative and turn it into a positive. And it almost feels like sometimes, although whatever you do is try and bring it around. And also, you can never really like pinpoint the one reason. This is what's wrong. This is what's wrong, and this is why I'm angry. This is why I'm upset. It's not that. It's just I'm just down today. I don't feel myself. Don't feel strong. I don't feel powerful. I don't feel like I can do this. I don't feel like that. I just feel like there's like a dark, dingy emotion like over me that I can't control, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is anxiety and depression.
Would you talk to someone about it when you're going through it at the time, or do you want to chill for a second and then when you're ready, maybe?
Well, alhamdulillah, last time I had this was when I actually called you, of all people, and it did actually make me feel better. It made me feel better because I think
we didn't have a long chat.
Nah, but you took I felt like I had a pressure, because I think pressure and having things on your shoulders is obviously where it stems from, because that's obviously where stress comes from, by having things that are on your shoulders theoretically. So I feel like after speaking to you, you removed some stress and some pressure from my shoulders. So I feel that made me better, because I spoke to you about the things that were kind of and you helped me relieve some of that. Although you couldn't relieve all of it because some of it is out of your control. But it was very much down to like feeling that pressure and that stress.
I think that's why it's so important to talk to people, because I think a lot of the time, like, you think that when you got this pressure, either you can't talk to someone about it, or no one will get it, or people think that you're just like being silly. And sometimes you're overthinking it so much, you chat to someone and it's like, oh,
right,
that's calm.
Yeah. Better out than in, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And also, I think a lot of us think that no one else will understand our problems. Like, our problems are so individual and unique to us. Like, we're some sort of incredibly unique individual human being, like no one else. But that's incorrect. We're all the same. We all go through the same we'll go through the same stuff. So, however deep and dark your problem is, like, try and like find someone that you can trust, that you can really speak to about it. Because speaking about it and getting it all out, even if you were to write it down, like we've talked. Remember ages ago,
we spoke about it.
Whether that worked or not, but it's almost like putting the problems and your stresses out on a piece of paper. Literally write them, the things that they're playing on your mind. You almost try and avoid them, but try and write them out and really try and like face up to them, because you know what, they're not going anywhere. Like, we all have these problems. It's about like learning how to like deal with these problems and problem solving. It's something that I've been learned so much in my last year of business. I've just opened obviously the 59, which has been about a year now. And obviously other things going on. It's just so many problems. I'm faced with so many problems, and it's really what it comes down to is problem solving and dealing with the problems. Because let's face it, we all have problems. That's life, and it's about how to deal with them and using your hikmah, your wisdom, to how to best deal with it. And that's throughout life. We're always going to have these problems. And do you know what? Rather than just, and this is me being a hypocrite, rather than just thinking, oh, F that problem or whatever, it's actually like standing up to it and dealing with it and confronting it and stepping over it. And when you do that, that's when you start to feel that kind of progression in yourself, whether it's personal, whether it's business. Like, by dealing with these problems and combating them and getting rid of them, that for me is something why this year has been so great for me, because I've actually like really learnt the art of dealing with these big problems rather than letting them kind of like crush me. Does that make sense? Alhamdulillah, we've been given common sense, you know, and we've also been given people and tools around us. So whatever the problem, whatever it may be, however deep, dark it may be, I guarantee it, there's someone around you that can help you with your problem.
And also perhaps don't belittle on the other side of it, being, if you're the person that somebody who is going through a tough time calls, if you're the person on the other end of that phone, perhaps indulge in a conversation with them.
Yeah.
Be there for them in some way and just maybe have a chat with them and be like, all right, cool, listen, I'm here for you. If you want to chat, I'm here. Or like ask questions and just let someone know that they can chat to you.
Be approachable, isn't it? Be approachable to your friends, isn't it? And like we say about keep realistically, as life progresses, you will find that your friendship circles do get smaller. And just ensure that the people around you are there for you, and like on an emotional level as well as everything else. The people that you can call and actually just be on the level, say, look, this is my issue. However pathetic it may seem to you, if someone can say, look, and help you with it, these are the kind of people you need around you. You don't want someone like laugh and say, come on, man up.
That's horrible.
It's not beneficial, is it?
It's almost bullying, isn't it?
It is, and it's like, as men, sometimes we're like, yeah, you're right, F that. But really, if you keep on if you just ignore all these like small things, that's how serious issues will build up. These small little things that we deal with, you can almost like sweep under the carpet. But
you're right, actually, because it is about using hikmah, like you just said, using wisdom, because it's about knowing what to say and when to say it, because there are times where you do just need to be told, oh, bro, don't worry about it, come on, like, forget about it. And sometimes that is a nice thing to hear. Like, not necessarily about, let's say, a major thing to do with anxiety, but maybe sometimes, like, I've had times where I'm worrying about something that's so minor and it isn't worth stressing over, and someone telling me, bro, that's, honestly, don't worry about it, it is a nice thing to hear, and it does help, and I think, you know what, you're right, why am I stressing over it?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's about you knowing what to say, and I don't know if there's any way to train yourself how to do that other than experiences that you go through, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Man.
Yeah, but obviously some situations do take the case of, come on, bro, that's a minor. But I'm thinking more like when someone's in that deep, deep there. But yeah, it's actually quite nice to address a problem as a minor, because realistically it is a minor. It's a small little thing that can be addressed, but it's more like, it's the up there, just, it goes deep.
Goes deep. We should lift the mood. I'm going to take a break. I need to visit the WC.
The where?
The WC. The water closet.
Okay.
Yeah. And...
Are you going to spend a penny?
Sorry?
Are you going to go and spend a penny?
Not familiar.
So when we first did Freshly Grounded,
we
spoke about what Americans call going to the bathroom and English people call...
Yeah, and you said spend a penny.
Spend a penny is like quite a British, like traditional British.
I'm going to go spend £1. Listen, we'll come back. Should we come back with current events? Should we do that? Yeah, done. All right, sweet. Yeah, I don't normally wear watches, but today I'm wearing one. I have quite a few at home, but like not one, either ones that were like gifted to me and stuff like that.
Are we on podcast now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, go on.
I don't think I've bought a watch before. Maybe I have in time. But anyway, my point is, I'm wearing a watch, which I don't normally do. And when you do something out of the ordinary, people normally clock on, right? Excuse the pun. Clock on.
Yeah,
anyway, but one thing I've noticed, when you wear a watch, you probably don't do this because you always wear a watch. But anytime somebody asks you anything that remotely relates to time, you check your watch. Do you do that? I've been doing it all day today. Like, I was in the car this morning with my missus and she said something and I like doing so normally I get to work about this time. And then just now, someone in the main office, said to me, how long does an episode of Freshly Grounded last? And it's normally... And I went, we probably got another hour and a half. Yeah. And I didn't even look at what the time is. Yeah. I just looked at the watch.
On the watch, yeah.
I went, probably like another hour and a half.
It's interesting you say this.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I fall into that, yeah.
Sometimes I do that and there's no watch on my hand.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, it happened, bro.
I think I've done that 1 or 2 times.
I've definitely done that. Maybe like to avoid awkward conversations sometimes.
Weird, isn't it?
It's just but it happens.
This is the master.
Yeah.
What do we do next week? I don't know.
Yeah.
Give me. Yeah, I'm free. It's true. Yeah, I do. It's a nice watch.
Thanks, man.
You say you never had to buy yourself a watch?
I don't think so.
That's an achievement at 23 years old to say that. You're 23, aren't you?
Yeah.
Get through life not having to buy a watch.
I don't think I've bought a watch, or if I really don't. Maybe when I was like in high school and then there was a craze for
G-Shocks.
I bagged myself a yellow one.
I still have mine.
Really?
It's like an like army coloured one. With like a black dial,
camo,
like almost.
You say army coloured?
No, it's not camo. No, it's like the bottle green, but like a bit more. It's more like your 59 cups.
It's like khaki
almost. Yeah.
I actually, that's a lie because I bought myself an Apple Watch as well. But generally,
Oh yeah, you always wear a Flex the Apple Watch.
generally I don't really wear. I don't wear a watch. I don't really.
Why are you wearing one today?
I saw it on the counter as I was getting ready and getting my just getting ready, and I was like, oh, let me chuck it on.
You glad you did?
Not really. Just make.
I couldn't do a day without watching. I think
You couldn't.
No.
What, do you check it or just?
Yeah, no, I use it obviously as a timepiece. Yeah, of course.
I just use my phone. Did you call me a dime piece?
I said it's a timepiece.
Timepiece. But yes, you are a dime, Faisal.
We were just discussing watches, weren't we, Red? And FaZe went outside for 20 minutes.
Current events. Let's go to some current events, man. Let's do this. Let's not do this.
No, let's cut it out. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And we're going to current events because your battery's dying, so I got to change it over now.
How about your battery?
Huh?
What's your battery saying?
I got to change both of them.
Oh, you got to change both of them.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're doing a little. Okay.
Do a little.
We'll do a little stop and then current events.
Oh, we could just carry on.
Fine.
Yeah.
Let's carry that on. Current events.
Wait.
You don't do.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my god.
I was waiting. Start again.
Current events. Current events.
Red one.
Hi, guys.
What is first red?
Right.
What is first red?
Let's start off with some.
What is first red?
You're gonna lose us viewers. Genuinely.
Alright, let's start off with the.
What is first red?
Damn. Let's start off with the technology. Technology. Tech. Bitcoins. Massive right now. All over the news. One Bitcoin is worth $15,000. And it started off a couple of days ago on $12,000. In Korea, it's worth $19,000. Now, upon a lot of research, we've also found out that the market is now worth 400 billion. So there's 400 billion worth of cash flow in Bitcoin available on the internet as we speak.
I remember like years ago when I was at uni, I had this friend who was like a genius. He's like this flatmate of mine, and he told me about Bitcoin, and nobody really knew about it. It was like 5, 6, 7 years ago. And it was really, really cheap to get Bitcoin.
Yeah, I remember very well.
I remember looking at it and thinking about purchasing something. I didn't, and now look. But let me tell you one thing: I don't actually know the permissibility of it, because I know there's. Yeah. I think is it impermissible? I know there's some sort of discussion about it being impermissible to buy and sell money and currency. So I haven't looked into Bitcoin specifically, but
I think so. Me and Sam were discussing it earlier as well. Just the risk element, obviously investing into something. I mean, it's kind of similar as if, like, say you're investing into a business, that still has a risk element. You don't know whether it's going to grow, and you're going to get a return from your investment, or you're going to get a loss. Doesn't it hold the same kind of concept?
No, there's nothing wrong necessarily with risk.
The risk,
I think it's the buying and selling of currency, which is
like the more specific.
Yeah. I think like I can't sell you money or something like that. I don't know too. I don't want to speak about knowledge, but I know there's something that has to be looked into.
It's arguably some of these is on the same sort of line as gambling, in the sense that
exactly. So you're gambling.
That's what. Yeah, but I don't know Islamically the ruling on it.
Yeah,
but some of it sounds a bit fishy.
Yeah.
And a guy threw out his hard drive that had like
I saw that.
Millions
and his and the caption was that's the face of a stressed man. You could see. Yeah. And did you see the brothers who invested 11 million into Bitcoin, and now they're 15 billion or something?
Really?
Yeah.
Crazy. I
remember, strangely enough, sorry to interrupt you, strangely enough, when you were just saying about your friend who was speaking about Bitcoin, I had exactly the same thing, and someone was really highly recommending to invest into this Bitcoin.
And it's really cheap, right?
And really, really cheap. And it was the start of it. And it was when it was the start of like all the black web and all that kind of stuff. And I remember it, and it was really cheap. It was very, very affordable. And it was something that always just played in my mind. I might probably get some Bitcoins at whatever time. And now all I hear about is Bitcoins, and the value of it is just that. Alhamdulillah, I don't regret anything. It wasn't in my qadr to get it and whatever. And like you said, whether it's permissible, etc. But I remember when they were cheap, and now I'm living in the time when they're worth a lot.
I remember literally it being so cheap that I, as a university student, could afford it.
Yeah.
Well, and now
they were cheap. You yeah. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, like I literally, because my Instagram name is inspired.red, so it's inspired, but like the .red is there to like obviously highlight the red, but a lot of people can't say it properly, and I just get called like Inspi-Red. So I basically looked up the website.
Is this just like a random
No, listen to me.
plug that
Oh, right.
doesn't relate?
No, I'm listening. Listen to it.
Well, no, I mean,
No, I'm joking.
yeah.
People call me S Empire in real life. But carry on.
Empire. Okay, cool. So I looked up the Instagram handle Inspired, and
Yeah.
I DM'd the guy, asking if, just politely telling him my story, telling him what I do, and that, obviously having the name Inspired would help my business. And I asked him nicely. He comes back to me. He goes, "You need to give me 2 Bitcoins." I said, "Okay." I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, cool. Like, yeah, 2 Bitcoins should be fine. I'll go on the internet, find out, how much I could." I go online and I see it's worth about $4,000. Like, at that point, it was around $4,000 for 2. And I was astonished. I was like, I didn't know what to say.
That's clever of him to ask you for bitcoins, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Instead of asking for 4 bags.
Yeah. And I was like,
clever,
I'm sorry, man, I can't
I read
afford
one.
it. So I didn't end up, acquiring that handle. But yeah,
So you can
Bitcoins
get
are everywhere right now.
Bitcoins.
Yeah, it's
You
an
can get
internet
your
currency at the moment. It's nuts.
I have a dream of having @Faisal on Instagram and Faisal.com as a web address, and I actually messaged @Faisal and he never replied. And I actually emailed Faisal.com, and they said they're not selling right now, or they asked for an absurd price or something, but I didn't end up getting that. But I'd love to have just @Faisal on YouTube, on Instagram, and I think that inshallah I'll get it.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. At Faisal as in like just with AT.
So just general.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, Faisal. Yeah.
So not anything, but just I basically
Faisal.
want to have just Faisal. So Instagram.com
that's
Faisal.
cool. Yeah.
FAISAL. And I know that inshallah eventually I could get it if you become popular enough, Instagram can pull strings for you, which is why you have people like there's people on Instagram and Twitter who have the username like for example, I think Zayn Malik has a @Zayn. ZAYN, and I'm sure that wouldn't have been available, but obviously he's big enough, so like they could pull a few strings. My point being,
You want to be as famous as Zayn Malik?
I think I need to get as famous as Zayn Malik in order to get @Faisal. So let's get some downloads, guys. Let's put some money behind this thing. What's the next current event?
Next current event. Virgin Trains basically got like rats like on board, so like they have a really bad hygiene problem at the moment and have been slammed by the RMT union. I have no idea what that stands for, but
I'm gonna guess it means rail
management trustees.
Yeah, close. That's probably it.
Probably it. But anyway, who would have thought? Virgin Trains,
Rail management transport.
Technicians.
Technicians, maybe.
No, but they're not technicians. They're like a union. Like a carpenter, just like one of the
Right,
union.
let him speak.
But yeah, they have a massive hygiene problem. But who would have thought? Virgin Trains, like high class bullet trains, one into the other of the country, they got hygiene issues. You never know, man. It's a bit crazy. But anyway, next one.
Well, no, I actually read this article, kind of relates to it, it's because it's about rats. I read this article yesterday that this restaurant in like Blackburn or up north somewhere called Royal Spice or something, some girl went to the restaurant, she ate some food and she got food poisoning and she actually ended up dying.
Whoa.
Yeah, and apparently the restaurant is now being sued for manslaughter because their food is so unhygienic that they got rats and all this kind of stuff. Apparently.
Wow.
Yeah, read it online.
Wow. That's pretty intense.
Yep.
I saw a rat the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
I can't remember.
Maybe in London, on the tube.
No, closer to home.
Really?
Mm.
Are they
I've
big?
seen
In,
mice.
It was
like,
big. It was
Irons?
big. Oh, I know where I saw it.
Where?
I'm not going to say, but I saw it nowhere near 59 or Minspire, but I saw it.
I say, you saying like I'm not gonna say almost made it sound like
Academy
it's
Garden,
59.
Academy Garden, in the Academy Garden. In
Okay.
the garden, the Academy.
Damn, in the attempt to save your own your own business.
Yeah, you explain.
You had to give it away.
Yeah, we saw a big rat. I saw a rat running through.
Damn.
It's a wooded area. It's not like from being unhygienic. But I saw it. I thought, right, it's a big rat that could be living very close to somewhere that you get food from.
Yeah.
Damn. That's crazy.
Possibly.
What are you guys whispering?
He whispered the name of somewhere he knows in St Albans, but he whispered it so quietly no one heard.
Oh.
But it wasn't one of Sam's places.
Okay, cool. All right.
It probably Just in case someone might be able to pick that up. You
Yeah,
just
because I did whisper it, but I
Yeah.
whispered it a bit loud. You heard it, and I have a microphone right in my mouth.
You whisper something really private in
Wait,
front
into
of
a
a
microphone, yeah.
Microphone that thousands of people. Good job. What's next, mate?
Next, we got
It works in a microphone.
bit of a sad bit of news. So in India, there was a newborn, premature baby, one half of twins, that was declared dead when he wasn't. And so while the parents were taking him to his funeral, he was actually alive. And the doctors had pronounced him dead. And then he died on the way to the funeral.
How did you die on the way to the funeral?
His heart stopped. He was 22. So the baby was 22 weeks. So obviously very premature, but still had like a chance of survival. And because the doctors obviously declared him, passed away or dead early on, they couldn't save him. So like subhanallah. So the parents are like obviously threatening to, not threatening to. They're basically saying we're not going to bury our son until the doctors are arrested for diagnosing them in the wrong way, which is pretty sad. And these kind of things, it does. I'd like to believe, like in Southern Asia, that the health services are like increasingly good, but like the reality of it is there are a lot of medical mistakes happening in there. I know, especially in Bangladesh, there's like a lot of wrong diagnoses and like personal family who've like passed away from wrong diagnosis.
SubhanAllah.
So it's a real problem.
It makes you appreciate, the fact that we do have like good healthcare here.
Yeah.
I mean, I know sometimes you have to wait a bit and that kind of stuff, but on the whole, we do have good doctors and stuff.
It's true. We definitely take it for granted. You know that
Definitely.
if we fall ill, that you take me to hospital. Like a lot of countries, that almost you can't say that so easily, can you? Even in America, you have to pay for your health service, don't you?
True.
So,
Let's switch up. And last piece of news. Studies show that our generation, as we get older, most of us are gonna end up retiring self-employed.
Yeah, but that makes a lot of sense. It's like most amount of people that are self-employed nowadays.
Yeah.
And even like, that makes a lot of sense.
So the Hitachi Capital and Center of Economics and Business Research both released studies that there's a significant increase in percentage of people that are in the entrepreneurial path. And I can see actually like within our everyday like society, even now, like here, like most kids are like reading. Just now, a minute ago, like my brother's friend was talking about like investing in smart investment and reading books on intelligent investment.
Who are those guys out here? That's your brother and...
So my brother was the one in blue jacket.
Yeah, I clocked your brother because he looks a bit like you.
Yeah, and
The other guy.
I don't think he looks anything like me. I
It
think
looks,
it's maybe
you
the
can tell it's your
mannerisms.
brother. You can tell it's your brother.
Yeah. And the other one is his best mate from uni.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
well, they've known each other for a long time. The other one's like, so his best mate is like Sam. They're both like sneakerheads and into the
really?
whole like retail, resale kind of, business or whatever.
How old are they? Our age?
No. My younger brother Nahian is 21,
Okay.
and his mate is like not 21 yet, so they're very young.
Nice, man. Got a couple new
how
lads.
can we
in
so
your-
interested?
There's a couple... Would you be interested if a couple men were behind the counter in 59?
I'd be concerned.
Just interested to know.
That's good.
Nice, man.
Any other
They seem
questions
like
about
nice
his brother
guys.
you want to ask?
No.
None.
I do have a question to you though, Sam.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Is that the end of current events?
That was the last car event. That's
So
that's it.
do you know what that last point you made is that's interesting. You're an entrepreneur
Yeah.
since age of 15.
Yeah.
So where did you feel like you got that entrepreneurial kind of feeling, that character? When did you decide from a young age that you wanted to be your own boss?
I like to copy my brother. Entrepreneurship's always been around, man. My dad's always run his own businesses and stuff like that, so we've been around it since we were young, and so it's kind of the only thing I knew that made sense. And my brother was always very like how he is now. He's been like that since he was little, and so
Is
for
he?
me, I've always thought that there's strength in numbers in it. So there's a bit of a party going on outside of the studio. Strength in numbers, man. Like I thought, if I could do if I do something and my brother does something, fine. But how amazing would it be if we did something together and then there's two heads are better than one? Strength in numbers. We both working towards the same goal. Do you know what I mean? We want to make both our parents financially free. We want to make our children financially free. And we want to make ourselves financially free. So why would we, if we both got the same goal, why are we going to lessen our chances by trying to work separately when we could put two heads together? And that is literally it. What about yourself? S-Empire, Mr. S-Empire.
Good answer. Myself?
Yeah.
I just knew I wanted to do my own thing really from a young age, and I don't think it's like I want to be an entrepreneur, because I don't even ever use that word like to associate myself.
Definitely, you're definitely an entrepreneur though.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't usually use that and a podcast. Yeah, alhamdulillah, proud to be a podcaster.
Alhamdulillah.
If you look at my my bio on Instagram, you actually see Freshly Grounded on there now.
Shut
Did you know that?
No.
Exactly.
That's a big move.
It's a big thing there.
No way.
But to answer your question, I think it was very much that I just wanted to. I didn't really enjoy being told what to do the whole time, and I kind of wanted to just live by my own rules. So I think that's where it's okay, innit?
My brother,
Yeah.
you look sick, bro.
Slowly.
International director, Menspire 59, Freshly Guide, highly blessed. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I like that as well. But I'm reading an interesting book. I don't know if you've heard of this book called The E-Myth.
I have not heard of the book called E-Myth.
It's an interesting book. It's about how to make a small business work, basically.
Okay.
And how to be an entrepreneur, how to have the right mindset to create a business, because so many people use this word entrepreneur. You want to work for yourself, but quite often people fall into rather than creating a business, they create a job. So they don't want to work for someone else, so they don't create a business that can sustain itself without them being in it. They create a job for themselves.
Right.
So in theory, all they're doing is they're taking themselves out of a work environment where they have a boss, and they're creating a new work environment where they are the boss, but they're creating this whole business around themselves.
Right.
So in theory, all they've done is create themselves a job rather than a business, when really what we need to be doing is creating a business that you don't even have to step into for it to work. So that takes 3 key people: a technician, the person who can do the work and who doesn't necessarily ask questions as much, just is in there. All they want is the 9 to 5, and they want the paycheck at the end of the month, and they're working. So you have the technician, you have a manager. The manager is the person who controls the business and the technicians to ensure, for example, my own personal business, the technicians would be the barbers cutting hair. The manager would be Mahi. Mahi's job is to encourage the technicians to continually doing a very good job and continually being busy. And then you have a third member, which is the entrepreneur, which is the person who creates new avenues for the business, new ideas for the business, creates innovation for the business,
Right.
and new things. So these three things is what we need for any business. We need a technician, a manager, entrepreneur. And really, if you're starting your own business, you need to be that entrepreneur, the person who's thinking about how the business is going to run. How am I going to find the people to work in the business, rather than I'm going to be in the business. This is how the business is going to run. Everything's going to run around me, because all you're going to do is although you can create a great business, but you're going to be so locked into it. If you're not there, you're not making money. So it's those 3 key elements to make any, and I use barbershop as an example because it is a good way to break it down. But that goes for everything and anything. And the entrepreneur needs to encourage the manager, and the manager needs to encourage the technicians. So as long as you have managers that you can encourage, then their job is to encourage the technicians. So you have like a hierarchy.
Right.
And that person, not necessarily at the top, but the person who is working on the business rather than in the business, is now out there finding new businesses and new ways to develop that business.
So is this mainly only applicable to smaller businesses, or would you say a growing business?
A growing business. Because I
Because
think your intention should be, if you're setting up a business, is to put those strong structures in, like McDonald's have done from day one. So if you have technicians who aren't necessarily qualified, but they can follow a structure, like an operating manual, something that has been written down, how you do it, in theory, that's how you can create multiple franchises and create one business and then replicate it over and over and over again, like McDonald's did in such an incredible way, where in theory, all McDonald's are is somewhere that sells burgers and chips. Right. How many places do we know that sell burgers and chips? But how many places do we know that have billions of places around the world that are making billions a day and etc.? What they did is they created a pretty good burger in the sense that it tastes nice, but it's nothing special. But they made it rather than calling themselves in the restaurant industry, they describe themselves in the fuel industry. So it's like quick, come and fill up and go, come fill up and go. So rather than think nothing long, just quick. Let's fast food.
Nothinglong.com.
Nothinglong.com, exactly. /Friesel. It's perfect. It's about creating something that could be replicated all over. So anywhere you go, like when you went to Dubai, how many burgers did you have? 3 or 4?
Your boy consumed a few burgers.
And could you say they tasted like McDonald's?
No.
Do you think they were different?
I suppose.
Oh, the point was that they were supposed to taste the same like a McDonald's. The idea is, even wherever you are in the world, if you're in a McDonald's, generally the chips should taste the same.
Right.
It should be the same thing, just replicated. Although I'm sure you go somewhere and it can taste slightly different.
Are you asking me if the McDonald's tastes the same?
I'm talking, did the McDonald's burger...
Oh, yeah, exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I thought you were asking like if I went to Five Guys, it tastes like a McDonald's burger.
No, sorry. Did the McDonald's that you had in Dubai taste the exact same as when you have one in London or whatever?
The fries, everything. Yeah, exactly the same.
It's astonishing, really, isn't it? So what they did is they realised they got one working correctly, and then they just literally implemented exactly the same system they have there. And that's really how we should go into business. We should go into a business not necessarily wanting to create a job for ourselves, but to create jobs for other people. And then you want to be able to create something that has so much structure that you can almost do it again and again and again and again. And it's all you have to refer back to is a manual. This is what we do. So this is what this book is about.
So like obviously like in the beginning stages of a business, like to be an entrepreneur, you need to have like the main aspects that you need to look at are like BD, so business development. You need to look in the analytics of the business, and you look into sales as well. Yeah. So on a larger scale, say you're looking to expand your business, would it be more efficient for one person to do all of those main aspects, or do you think you have to like build a team around you to do each one?
I think like Big Faye said a minute ago, is about 2 heads is better than one. I really feel, for me, my personal experience, like although lone men can be very successful businessmen and entrepreneurs, but I think the benefit of having a team of people around you all on the same mission is what you kind of need, from my experience anyway. Although obviously you can do it by yourself, but I think you'd find even the people doing it by themselves would have assistants and people around them, that because to be able to fulfill all those roles and to fulfill and do something on a large scale, you can't do it by yourself. I think you need to learn how to communicate with people. I think you need to learn, like, first and foremost, if you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to build teams, you need to learn how to communicate with people. And because a lot of people don't know how to communicate with people and get on the level with people, because you want people to work for you, but you want to be on the level with your staff. You want to be able to have a conversation with your staff. So I think communication is key to be a successful entrepreneur, because I think you need to build teams, you need to build associates, you need to find mentors, you need to be able to communicate and talk to people. So the more people you know, the only way it's going to benefit you.
Cool.
Anything to say, Big Faze?
I think there's so many beneficial books out there for business, aren't there?
There is so many.
There are, yeah.
What was the name of the book that you just mentioned, bro? Because I know you mentioned it already. But
E-Myth.
The E-Myth.
E-Myth, yeah. It's available at Amazon.
Is it quite readable? Like,
very readable.
Yeah, I like that about books, because there's a lot of books that are like really are hard to grasp. But I find that a lot of these business books are quite
more
approachable.
Sorry, go on.
Exactly what you're saying, but way easier to read. There's a book called that I was reading famously on my vlog, because it took me so long to actually finish it, even though it was a really small book, but I just read it in bits, and it was called Rework, and it was about being an entrepreneur in this day and age. So like the new entrepreneur, and it was so readable, so easy, and put in such small chapters that it's very easy to read and pick up. So yeah, man, I think reading, unfortunately, is something that's like we're losing as a society. I'm glad that you read, man, because
not often, may I add.
But I like that you rate reading.
I definitely promote it.
Yeah.
I've always struggled myself and always kind of generally returned to YouTube. I think some things are best left actually read. I think some things should be read.
Yeah.
When I say about YouTube, I'm talking about listening to something. It's all very good. Sometimes you can listen to a book and an audio book and stuff, which is good. But sometimes when you actually read it, and it's powerful, and you read it also a couple of times, that's how to get that information into your head, isn't it?
I'd agree, bro. I think that it's also important to know that sometimes when you read something, it's better because you're reading it at your own pace, and you're taking your own understanding of it as well. You know, when you're listening to something, like, you're kind of like, what you're doing is you're adopting the way that person understood it. Whereas when you're reading something, you can understand it in your own way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense.
Would you
ever find when you're reading something, your mind goes somewhere completely else, and you're totally not fixed on what you're reading, but you are reading through pages, but you're somewhere else?
And that's I
have that. That's one of my main problems I fall into. I read 2 pages. I'm actually like going through the pages, but my mind is somewhere so far from the book. I'm like thinking about something else.
I'll tell you what book I had that with. Do you know The Sealed Nectar, which is the biography of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? I had that a lot during reading that book because there's a lot of times where it's just like dates and locations. So there'll be like a whole paragraph which will say something like, in this year, but after Hijrah, the Sahaba traveled to Ethiopia, and it's like that, and it's a lot of information. It's very hard unless you really concentrate on it.
I had the same experience, bro.
With that book?
Yeah, because even in the beginning, bro, if you open up and look into the introduction, it goes into so much detail. It does, it's really, really hard for your mind to comprehend unless you're like used to like, obviously, because I read this after like I was in uni. In uni, I was used to like obviously kind of like sucking in as much information as I could, but like after, it's really difficult if you don't have like your mind at practice with it. And
it's true, man. Yeah,
because like there's one part if you read, like it tells you like it's just a description of the Prophet and how he used to look and his mannerisms and so on, and it's from the account of a woman, and he made a stop by at her and her husband's inn, and she gave them him and his companions some milk.
Okay.
And like it's her description, and it goes into like how sharp his nose looked, how sharp his beard was, his language, the way he spoke, and like sometimes it's difficult to remember every detail, and that's what happened. Like it starts, and then from that it goes on to more like factual, like as you said, like dates and times and so on.
Yeah, man.
It's interesting, the description of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and how with everything that he was never one extreme or the other. With his height, it's like everything balanced. His hair, everything.
Shall I tell you what I found really interesting on the topic of this? There's a lot of good things that like there's some good lectures and stuff about the description of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And what I learned recently, bro, is that, and it doesn't relate directly, but hadiths and ahadith, we have to be so careful when we read them, right? Because one thing I learned recently is that we can actually take the wrong end of the stick a lot of the time because we don't know the explanation of it and stuff, and I'll explain further. So in this lecture that I was listening to, there was the teacher was talking about hadith in which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after he drank milk, he said that he made wudu, but then after he drank meat, he did not make wudu and he just prayed. And if I was to read that hadith, what I would take from that is that you do wudu after milk, right? But when the teacher explained it, he said that it's a different type of wudu. It's not, he didn't make wudu. What that meant is that he rinsed his mouth out.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
But the word it says wudu from what he was saying, and so it's so important to not just like read a hadith and take from it. And another thing that I remember is when I first started practicing, someone gifted me the translation of Sahih Bukhari, the book Bukhari, which is a book of like all of the Sahih hadith, or like it was a concise version of it. And I remember like quite excitingly, I was at the mosque once, and I told the brother about it, and he literally looked at me and he goes, "Bro, do not read that book." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "At this point of your journey, if you read that book, you're going to read things and you're going to take it word for word and you're going to practice things and it's going to be wrong." I didn't really understand it quite when he said to me, but now I completely understand it because of stuff like that. There's another hadith, for example, in which the teacher was basically saying there's a hadith where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to somebody's house and he I believe gave the Prophet some bread, and you have to have something with bread generally, like you just want to have like we had hummus last week, for example, and I think what happened is the man said that he only had vinegar, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Oh, vinegar is a blessing, it's a ni'mah," and he said that I can't remember what the correct version of it is, so it's kind of bad me even saying this, but the point still remains in that did the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam say vinegar is a blessing as in like vinegar itself is a blessed food, because that's what some people do. Some people treat vinegar as blessed food now. Or was he sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying vinegar is a blessing in the sense that it's a blessing that we have vinegar? There's two different ways you can take the hadith. Do you know what I mean? So imagine we were just reading it and we took it one way of it. We don't know, and that's why it has to be explained to us. So we have to be very conscious of that kind of stuff, don't we?
The same hadith and reading the Quran as well. It goes deep. You can't just read something and expect that you can understand it necessarily, especially if we're going to be reading the English translation, and to read something, you almost can't just take it as that, can you?
Exactly. Sometimes I've actually done it myself and I need to be more conscious of it, where I've learnt a hadith or heard a hadith, and I'll like kind of tell it to someone else, oh, did you know, blah, blah, blah. And you got to actually be very certain about it before you... Like, there's some safe ones. Like, for example, there's that hadith where the Prophet ﷺ, somebody came to him and asked him for advice, and he said, La taghdab, don't get angry. I think even Muhammad Hijab might have mentioned it last week. That's like one of the examples of a very popular hadith that's like quite basic. The Prophet ﷺ is saying, don't get angry 3 times. But there's other ones that are a bit more like that milk, like the wudu one, and there's a few others. We just got to be conscious, man.
You've got to be very conscious. You've got to be careful that you're understanding it correctly, especially before you start passing it on. Because this is how so many problems can happen.
100%. So many problems.
Basically, the religion is no joke.
No joke.
And studying the religion is no joke as well. So it's so important. It is so important that we take time out to study the correct Islam and to understand it as the companions understood it.
Very true.
Very true.
Powerful stuff, man.
What?
Religion.
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
Talking about religion.
Yeah, very powerful, yeah.
And like making sure we don't make mistakes and stuff. I put out a post recently that I actually reposted from Jibril. Did you see it? It was about the memes and stuff.
Yes.
You would have seen
yes,
it.
Yes.
So basically, Jibril put up a post on his story where he basically screenshotted one of these like Instagram pages that like it posts like memes about. So it's supposedly made by a Muslim, and it's like these typical times of Instagram pages that are like, you know, halal, quote unquote halal jokes, right? But really what it is not halal at all, because it's mocking Muslims. And I don't rate it at all. And Jibril actually called him out on it, and I rated that, and so I reposted what he wrote, and he basically said, let me read out what Jibril said. He basically said, but do you know what kind of post I'm talking about? Pages I'm talking about? Yeah. For the readers who are listening who might not know, it's like pages that, for example, they a typical kind of joke would be, do you know anything that like jokes about, like there might be a meme that jokes about like a man saying that, oh, I'm allowed 4 wives, or anything from that to like, you know, quite offensive stuff. And Muslims will like it and laugh and share. And you have to know that when you're making a joke out of the religion, it can fall into major kufr, which is leaving, which could end up, which could lead to leaving the fold of Islam. So it's no joke. And so what I would say is like, be conscious of like posting that stuff or reposting that stuff, because it's
just generally avoid it.
Oh, avoid it, man. How do you find your archived stuff, Red? Huh? Red, how do you find your archived?
It's at the top of your main page.
Like on your profile, there's like this clock-looking thing with an arrow going around it.
Yeah.
You go on that.
That's like your archived posts. Here we go. Okay, so this is what Jibril said. He said, I can't deal with these type of accounts. You know them ones that seem to be run by a Muslim, but for likes and laughs will mock part of Allah's deen with their pathetic memes. It's ultra lame.
Yeah.
That's what he said. And it's true, man. They literally mock the deen, bro.
Hey, no joke.
Stuff like a sister wearing a niqab and like relating it to like, oh, that was the one he said actually. He showed, I think it was a sister wearing a niqab, and it was like a man like posting a letter. Yeah, man. Like, bruv, that stuff, you gotta be so like, why would you want to make joke? Like, bro, if you think about it like seriously, yeah, for a second, imagine Allah has created life and created this religion and created us, yeah. And so by mocking the religion and you saying, oh, it's just a joke, really and truly, like, what are you making a joke out of though? You make a joke out of something that Allah created, which means you're making a joke out of Allah. Like, that's a serious thing, man. Like, you do not want to be going down them routes. You do not want to be going down them routes, man.
No, like, stay away from it and avoid it, mate.
Yeah, because by offending the creation, what are you offending?
Offending the creator.
Right.
This is even when you call someone ugly. Who's that? Who are you taking the mick out of? The person or the thing that created it?
Right, exactly. Because, like, yeah, you're calling someone ugly, but look who created it, him or her.
Yeah, of course.
It's a dangerous territory, man. It's not, and it's like, and I think that is sad because a lot of Muslims do it, and that's what makes it sad, man. Because it's like, we should like promote like why are those pages so popular? Because we press like and we press follow and we comment and we tag our friends. If a page like that had 2 followers and nobody liked the pictures, they'd delete their page, wouldn't they? So we need to promote unfollowing these pages. We need to promote not liking their stuff. We need to promote not tagging our friends in it. And if everybody promoted not liking these pages, then these pages would essentially go out of business, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Just keep like the religion and humor very, very, very separate.
Yeah.
There's no compromise. Like
Exactly.
if you're making a joke and even like it comes into bringing anything to do with the deen, just avoid it.
Avoid it.
Separate thing. Have a joke with your friends, have a
Yeah.
laugh with your friends, but just don't involve the
Don't
two,
involve the
because
two.
it's like he said, there's dangerous territory and it ain't no joke. You
No
can
joke.
leave the fold, man. Imagine if you leave the fold of Islam by making a stupid joke.
And imagine, and you don't even know it. You think
you don't
you're
even
Muslim,
know
you
it,
don't-
man.
Bro, what I was gonna say is, what I would actually I would actually go one step further and say to anyone listening to this right now who is following these pages, like that call themselves like halal banter pages and all this kind of stuff. I'd say, do yourself a favor,
And allow it, bruv.
go and unfollow them pages. Go through your following list and unfollow those pages. And any page that does that kind of stuff, that makes memes about the religion, unfollow it, man. And do yourself a favor, because you're only going to benefit yourself in akhirah by doing that. And you're also going to benefit yourself because you won't see those memes anymore. So you got less of a chance of looking at them, laughing and tagging your friends, because you might find it funny, but if you don't see it, you won't find it funny.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah, what I said.
Important. Yeah. So, what's good? What's next? Anything else to say?
I've said it all out, I think.
Nothing else to say?
We're going to go for a nice lunch now, aren't we?
Yeah,
Inshallah.
that'd be nice.
We've got to
wouldn't
sign those mugs.
it? Got a few mugs to sign.
Yeah. So let's go into the mugs then, right? So I know I said it at the beginning. So guys, listen, if you go to freshlygrounded.com right now, at the top there'll be a link that says shop. Click on that link and you will see there'll be 19 mugs available that have been numbered and signed by Sam and I, inshallah, and they'll be available for a tenner. And they're more of a I mean, you can drink out of it if you like, but it's more of a collector's item, and it's like our first ever product, so it's a big thing. And
It's a good mug.
it's a good mug.
Mug.
Yeah, you said mug
It's a really
twice
good
there.
mug.
It's weird, you said mug twice.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'd love for you guys to get these mugs and then take a picture of your number and send it to us, and we'll repost it. I've said it now, Sam.
You said it, yeah.
Yeah, whether we repost it on our story or our actual feed, I don't know. That was from like trying to attach the broken mic.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. freshlygrounded.com and then click on shop. Also, if you wish to, like we said in the intro, inshallah, if you wish to sponsor the podcast, email us over at hello@freshlygrounded.com. If you wish to actually sponsor the podcast, you can check out more sponsorship information at freshlygrounded.com and then click on sponsorships and you can see our stats and like why it's beneficial to sponsor a podcast.
Just in a nutshell, why is it beneficial to sponsor this podcast? In a nutshell.
Well, Sam, you get access to thousands and thousands of people every month per episode. And like you said, and I said, we've actually felt the reward, the people actually come to our places of business and quote Freshly Grounded, and we realised that, how many people have come to 59 because of Freshly Grounded?
I've lost count, mate.
And Menspire,
I've lost count.
and Izaha.
I've lost count.
Yeah. It's and it's not like us joking saying it, like,
No, alhamdulillah. it
bear
doesn't
in
work.
mind, we're not allowed to lie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can trust us in that sense. And, yeah, man.
To benefit your business.
Benefit your business. Yeah, get a couple of sponsorships, and at the same time support the podcast.
Yeah.
Also, if you don't have a business and you just want to support, you can head over. Wow, I can't speak.
Head over to freshlygrounded.com
/donate.
and just donate.
Just donate.
Just sponsor the thing.
Yeah. And if you want to be a premium subscriber, head over to patreon.com /freshlygrounded, and you get exclusives like the documentary we're shooting right now today, which is behind the scenes of Freshly Grounded, which will be up soon. On Patreon
Inshallah.
only, inshallah. Thank you so much for listening, guys.
Thank you.
This has been episode 38.